start with the pricing part, and then we will continue with food tech improvements, and then we have a WordPress plugin in the agenda. Okay, let me share my screen. You should see my screen now. So just a quick recap from a previous demo. So I already showed it, but just to repeat. So we added these two new types of rules. So you can now set up rules per task, and you can have rules per order at the same time, which is could be useful if you want to have a distance rule. So you can, for example, have a rule per drop-off, and then you can have a rule with a distance for entire order. So the difference between these two rules, as it says here, is like this rule will be applied per each task. So if it's a simple pickup and drop-off, it will be applied twice. And then, so if you want to have it applied only to a drop-off, then you need this condition, type of task drop-off. And order-based rules are always applied once per entire order. So you can, so for example, if you have like a package, like let's say weight. So if it's weight in the order rule, it will take the total weight of all tasks. And if it's weight in the task rule, if it checks for weight, it will check only the weight of inside this task. So we have a few conditions like this. So they're different depending on which type of rule they're used in. Another thing we already did, we already showed previously is percentage-based rules. So, for example, again, if I use the weight as an example, so you can have a rule like if weight is more than 10 kilograms, make the order 10% more expensive, which will basically take the price from the previous rule and add 10% on top of it. And now is a new part. So another rule which I added recently is a time slot based rule. So you can, for example, you can say if it's a weekend, make another game 10% more expensive. And you can also set like if it's not weekend, you can, well, that's not a good example maybe, but you can use the opposite as well. So you can set you can use both equal and not equal. And this is important. And just let me show one example. So I have this delivery. And it has a time slot based rule. So I have time slot 1 selected, and okay, it expects time slots 2. Okay, so let's choose weekend. So you see this, both these rules are applied because it's this is time slot 2, and it has this date. But this form allows me to choose whatever date I want, and that's the place where you might need not equal, because when I select the date manually, it doesn't match time slot anymore. And if you want to have a pricing rule which covers this case as well, then you will need to have a rule like when it's not weekend. Well, but when it's not a weekend time slot, to be more precise, then check something else, like if it's time range length less than something, etc. So that's important to cover these cases. And it also might happen if you import deliveries from Excel files or via API. You can easily get time slots which are not exact time slots from your configuration. And in that case, it will not work. But the good news, it will still work if it's exactly the same time slot. So if I select from 10 till 11, you will see that it matches this rule, even if it's not selected from the speaker. That's it from for the pricing. If you have any questions, please ask.
Maybe I have one.
Yeah.
Is it like a choice or no to not match on a time slot, even if you pick an hour manually that is included in a time slot?
So, I didn't fully understand what you mean, but it basically, let me just explain it differently. So what it does, it takes this hour that you selected and it compares it with all the choices you have in a time slot. If it matches one of the choices, it will think that it's from a time slot.
Okay. So, okay, I thought it was not, this behavior was not present, but okay, cool.
No, that's exactly what I tried to show here. So I selected it manually, and it matched a time slot rule, even if it's not selected from a picker.
Okay, cool.
And if you didn't see it before, this is a good old tool, but in a different format, which shows you how price is calculated. So it basically shows for each task. So this is a pickup task. So that's this section. Drop-off task, it's this section, and then entire order. So you can easily see that the rules we previously set up per order, they only applied for order, and they never applied to a task. So that's a good place to check that the rules you set up work as expected. And this is the second part. So this is basically only about rules, and this is how these rules get translated into prices. In the current situation, that's actually basically one-to-one mapping. So each green section will match one of this line. But in the future, when we have this part implemented properly, you might have two tasks displayed as one item if they have exactly the same characteristics. But for now, it will be a one-to-one mapping. So basically, each green line will have a line here. Yes, Serge?
Just to say thank you, because it's a really helpful improvement for us to debug some pricing rules. We see exactly what doesn't work or what work. So this is helpful for us. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, it's also, yeah, I know your rules. There's like 100 rules in each rules, which is like nightmare to even figure out what it does. But just so the most common mistake I see in a lot of rules that it uses, for example, distance inside the per point rule, which doesn't work. So it just don't do anything. So that should be changed. And also I added few comments here, like for example for weight. If you use it in a per point rule, you will also need a condition for drop off, because otherwise it will try to apply weight rule to a pickup. So that's okay. Let me explain. So if you have a rule like this with weight less than 5 kilograms, and you don't specify it for a drop off, it will try to apply it to a pickup as well, but due to technical limitations, for a pickup we will have weight equal to 0. So this rule will match, but you probably don't want it to match here. So it's better to add an extra condition, so it's only applied to a drop-off. So and a drop-off task will have a proper weight set up from a form. So because as you can see in the form, the pickup task don't have any weight, so you can have weight only here. But if it's 0, it will still match because it's sort of 0, but it's not correct from your point of view in most situation. Okay, any more questions? If not, we can continue.
Yeah. Do you have something else to show, Vladimir, or
No.
continue?
It's on the pricing. It's on the pricing.
Okay. So maybe I will present my screen. Is it this one? Yep. Okay. So on my side, I've continued to work on the map picker behavior that I included in the app, I guess 2 or 3 weeks ago. And as expected, Adoti asked me to add it also on the website. So now there is a new label in case. I mean, the main reason this has been included is for now it's the only country that have this limitation, but in Ghana the Google Map coverage is not that accurate, and there is a lot of missing spot. So it could be useful for Ghana to like being able to pinpoint yourself on the map. So if I go to Accra and if I pick a spot where there is no address, well, let's go with this place. Okay, so now there is a plus code including the address. I don't know if you are aware of what plus code are. Plus code are just a way to have an address if your state doesn't provide you one. It's powered by Google, and basically what it is behind the scene, it's only longitude and latitude data, but encoded in a way more easier way to remember. So, well, my phone is keep ringing. Okay. So you can also change the address from this place. Good. And it will work also. For UX purpose on the client side, I mean on the customer side, there is a small indication that the address is selected via the map, because sometimes the address is, as we've seen previously with plus code, if the user don't know what plus code are, it may be confused. So there is a small reminder that, well, the address is selected via the map, it should be fine. And this reminder is also shown on the dispatcher side. Again, for the same reason, if the dispatcher seeing a weird address, he might be confused, and you can see that it has been selected via the map. And a bit like it's not included in what I'm currently working on, but very soon I'm gonna add a preview card on that same screen. So as a dispatcher, you can accept or refuse an order and knowing actually where the order has to be delivered. And I guess that's it. And I don't know if everyone have seen this, but this is what it's currently present on the mobile app. So it's basically the same feature, but also included in the app. So that's mostly it. I don't know if you guys have questions.
Very nice.
Well, yeah, it was it was fun to do. So and it worked fine. So I'm glad. I'm glad it worked fine.
It's good to have it included in the suggestions. I think it's this way people can type their address, and if they don't find it, they can fall back to this. This can be useful in other countries as well, because
Yeah, of course. For now, it's only useful for Ghana. And
even in Berlin we had some problems of this kind. I don't know, some streets have the same name, and it's I don't know. Even Google doesn't have the good.
okay.
Even with the house numbers, it doesn't match the real house. So it happened a few times. So yeah, cool.
Okay, cool. But yeah, it's a feature that can be useful for way more country than Ghana, obviously.
Okay. No, let's have it merged and deployed.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Should I show the WordPress plugin? Sorry. Lately, I've been working on stuff that is not really visible. The only visible things may be the WordPress plugin. So we have a WordPress plugin for a long time, but it was not working anymore with WordPress and WooCommerce updates. So WooCommerce is the e-commerce extension of WordPress. So it stopped working, and we didn't notice because we don't have that much installations. But it's always useful because WordPress is quite popular. So yeah, nothing new, but I just updated it to make it work with the latest WordPress. So it works like before. So it's an extension in WordPress. It can be installed from the WordPress extension repository. And the setup is so this is running on my machine. So the setup is you need to indicate the URL of the CoopCycle instance, and you need to give API credentials. So of course, previously I created an API, or maybe I will switch to English. So previously I created an API that is linked to the store Colli Prompto. And it generated identifiers that I pasted here. So it says it's connected to the app WordPress. So this is the first step to communicate with the CoopCycle instance. No? Yeah, I will show the shop, so it will be pretty obvious what it's used for. So once the plugin is configured, it needs to be configured in the WooCommerce part as well. So if I go to the WooCommerce plugin, so in the shipping settings, I can define shipping zones. So this is how it works in WooCommerce. You define zones for shipping. So for example, you can say, I don't know, if you ship in Europe, it's this price. If you ship in France, it's this price, etc. And in each zone, you can define different shipping methods. So obviously, if people have an e-commerce website, they will add the CoopCycle plugin in their city to be delivered by bike. And they may define other zones for if people can be delivered in other cities. So yeah. So if I create a zone, so in this case I created a very simple zone. This it's for demo purpose. So the zone is in France and it will match this postcode. So here you can define the postcodes that will match the zone. So it means that if the customer enters an address which matches this postcode, he or she will be proposed this shipping methods. So also, of course, you can configure free shipping. So free shipping. So for example, you can say above, I don't know, maybe 20 is not much, but maybe above 50 euros, the shipping is free. And maybe you have seen before, you can say that the CoopCycle plugin, where is it? Here. You can tick a checkbox to say that the CoopCycle shipping, the shipping by bike option will be proposed on free shipping. So at the moment, the plugin is limited to a fixed price. So it means that this is what will appear in. So like it says here, this is what will be shown on the front end, but you can put something else like this, for example. And you can here put the price of the delivery by bike. So at the moment, it's not. This is what we are planning to do. We are planning to put it behind the pricing rule. So the cost will be dynamic based on the pricing rule, but this is the next evolution. At the moment, we are waiting for feedbacks on this version of the plugin. So yeah, so I will let it like this. So that's all for the configuration. And then, so here is the front end. So what the customer sees. I already have something in the cart. Okay, maybe I will put it more big. So here, as my address corresponds to the zone, it works. So, but for example, if I enter this, it says that there is no shipping option because I only configure the zone that matches my postal code. So here, as I configured it to execute also on free shipping, it shows the shipping date picker on the free shipping as well, because basically this is what the plugin does. It selects it shows a drop down to select the date, and this date corresponds to the time slots that have been configured on this store. So this is at the moment this is the only let's say dynamic things that it does. So it will use the configured time slots of this store. So let's order. So I have these options. It's normal. It's not finished yet. Okay, so let's say Friday between 5 and 6. And here, okay, I can place an order. So here, it shows the shipping date. Oh, it's a little bit not very understandable. And also the order, of course, will be shown here. Maybe I did wait. No. Okay. So I need to improve this. Okay, I didn't remember that I used this. Strange. No. Okay, it's not the. It's a experimental version. Wait, because I think this will not work. Wait, I will just create an order again. Sorry, it's I experimented with something. Okay. 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 Okay, so here it's more understandable. So here I have my new order that has been placed, and here when the person managing the WordPress will change the order status to processing. So when so processing or to things to status that are after on hold, it will send the delivery to the CoopCycle API. So let's see. So at the moment. So at the moment, I have no deliveries. Then the upcoming tab. So okay, let's update the order. Okay, and now. So the delivery has been created on the CoopCycle instance has been sent to the CoopCycle instance from the WordPress. And if there is a pricing rule configured, it will calculate the price as well. So and maybe I don't know. I don't know if it's really useful to use the same pricing rule. I don't know. I don't know if you have opinions. So yeah, and at the moment that's it. There is no back and forth communication between the WordPress and the CoopCycle instance. So unfortunately, for example, if the order is cancelled at some point, we don't get notified. But yeah, it's part of the things to improve. So yeah, that's all. I don't know if you have questions.
Yes, next I have some questions. So this is a one-shot communication between the WordPress plugin and the CoopCycle instance. That's what you say, I think. When the order is sent, there is no way out when the order is cancelled. Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And when the delivery is done, is it is there a communication between the CoopCycle instance and the WordPress of the customer?
No, but
No. Okay.
we could do because I don't know much of WooCommerce, but I guess that the order should switch to completed when it has been delivered.
Okay.
Maybe. No.
Okay. I don't know. Maybe.
But do we
Okay.
send these updates? How would it know that it's delivered?
Because the drop has been completed.
Yeah, but do we send? Does CoopCycle send this to WordPress?
No, no, that was the question of Serge.
Okay, so that's not that wouldn't happen currently.
No,
Anyway.
no,
Okay.
no. So maybe for sure that's something to add. Yes.
Okay. I have another question. I saw you choosing a time slot in the order processing.
Mm.
Is this time slot erase the time slot set in the store configuration and CoopCycle instance, or
Yes.
should they have to be the same at the both places?
Yes, the time slot is calculated based on the drop down is calculated based on the time slot configured. It will be the same as if the person will be using the delivery form of the shop.
Ah, okay.
The default time slot, of course.
The default one. So the time slot set in the WooCommerce instance will be shown in the
Yes.
details of the task. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Perfect. And is it the same for maybe the packages or the other info of the task?
We don't have no. We don't have packages or things like this. Maybe I can check in WordPress if there is a concept of packages, but I'm not sure if it exists. But we have the details of the order in the task. That's all.
Yeah.
We have.
So because it influence the way the price will be calculated in the pricing rule.
Yes.
Yeah, because all the pricing rules with volume units or packages will not working in this
Yes.
case. Yeah.
Mm.
Okay.
But
Okay.
it's a hard problem because it's. I think it's feasible, but the hard thing is that the packages on WordPress will need to correspond to the packages on
Yeah.
CoopCycle. So
Yeah.
we will need to have a sort of mapping between. I don't know if honestly, I don't know if there is a representation of packages in WooCommerce. But if it exists, maybe in produce, I don't know. If it exists, it needs to correspond to something in CoopCycle. So this will be hard, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course. This is not a simple issue.
Maybe at least weight or volume units.
Yeah, volume units could
Mm.
could be used in this case. Okay, that's nice. You update this plugin.
Okay. Thank you.
One of our customer asked for that connection last week, I think. So I'm glad to to say it works now.
Okay, I was waiting for someone to test it because I have nobody that seems interested. So yeah, tell me if they want to use it. No
Yeah,
problem.
it seems simple to configure. Also, I wasn't aware of that. So
Normally it's okay, but okay. I need to check for this thing about so because so it seems attributes. length or weight? It's hard. Because I don't know if in WordPress it seems that you have you can describe you can define free attributes, so it can be anything. So I don't know.
Also, is it possible to force the customer to use one form of delivery? You show the customer could choose the delivery he wants, except free delivery because it means he have to. No, free delivery is not the one set by default if the order is up to 50 euro. So there is no. Sorry, I can't explain that in English. Maybe you understood.
Because,
in this case, the customer have the choice to choose one of the three type of deliveries. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
But there is no way to force him or her to.
You can just disable the free shipping, for example. I don't know if it's clear, but you with the zones you can say, okay, if it's in the city, it's the only shipping option will be by bike.
Okay.
You can
That's the way to force it. Okay.
So it will only show CoopCycle here, for example.
Okay. I get it. Thank you.
So yeah, I hope your customer has a recent WordPress version because it's working. Because it was either because our version, our plugin was working on quite old WordPress version, like 3 years ago, something like this. So normally, I've seen a market share of WordPress. Normally, people have most people they have recent versions. So
yeah. We'll see. I will tell you.
I hope. Okay, tell me. No problem. I can make a video call if they need to set up.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, that's all for me.
Yes, that's all for today.